Namaste, Vitruvians. Welcome to another Vitruveo Spotlight. Mike, how are you? Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone's having a great morning or evening wherever you guys are. It's 10 a.m. over here, so we're excited. We're ready to go. We've got a big
Yeah,
one today, Nick.
yeah, we got a big one, and it's great to see a lot of familiar friends here. You know what excites me the most about Spotlight these days? It's the fact that we now have our OG community and the creator community
Yeah.
finally all merged into one, and I love that. I love that so much because that's the whole point of Vitruveo is the sort of crossover, and I just love that so much.
Yeah,
So
this is crazy. This is what our third live this week.
yeah, I
It's
feel like
like-
yeah, my family was asking me like, how much time are you live there? That's crazy, and yeah, it's two nights in a row, and then this one here. But this is my favorite one by all means because I love giving our updates to the community, and really it's also an opportunity to celebrate our successes and our even our challenges. I think to share our challenges and we face them together. So I think it's great.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
all right, I think we have a lot of content to cover today, so we should probably get started. So give me 1 second here, and I will cue things up. I do need to make sure that uh, our I had a special guest that I want to invite here. I want to make sure that they have the link. So give me a moment. We'll check on that. Uh, Meanwhile, Mike, do you want to give us a quick update on what your follow up has been with some of the Dubai things there? Uh,
Sure, yeah. We've actually been following up quite a bit with partners that we're looking to collaborate with for a January list. We did have a chance to have several meetings, with these collaborators, and it's been going great. We've met with one listing company, and basically what they do is they facilitate and take care of all of the listing process for the chain. They actually have backdoor contacts with all of the exchanges that we're looking to do. They've actually been consulting with us, kind of letting us know what the best strategy is for January, based on kind of our current situation and where we're headed. And yeah, they sent over a really comprehensive roadmap for us, with maybe about 6 to 8 different tier two exchanges.
oh,
So we're going through that right now, and yeah, we should have an update on that probably in the next, probably not next Friday, but the Friday after that. We should have a kind of a confirmation on the strategy that we're going to take.
that's great. Sorry for putting you on the spot and getting filler content there while I send out my invitation email, which
Yeah,
I
no worries.
should have done earlier. All right, I'm now ready to get started. All right, here we go. Okay, everyone,
Let's go.
welcome to Vitruvio Spotlight. This is season 5, episode 6. It's November 8th, 2024. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO, and with me is Mike Purdy, our COO. And Mike, I forgot what our thing was, but let's go. Here we go. Woohoo! 1 million Vitru staked for Vibe in just 48 hours. Guys, you are simply amazing. All of you are fantastic. This brings our total staked since November 1 to 1.8 million. So you did it.
Mhm.
You did it. This is amazing. What a wonderful result. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing to make sure that our project is a success. We are all in this together, and these actions, as Mike was talking about, getting listed on exchanges. This is very, very important. This is super important for the success and the future of our project, and I'm very excited to hit that milestone. Mike, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I'm blown away. I think this is super exciting, and this million does not include the staking that we've done since we activated staking in scope. So
Yeah, that's the
this number
1.8
is
million.
probably, yeah, close to like 1.8 million, which is just incredible, guys. Great job. And all of this just really helps our chain, as Nick said. Once we list in January, we really want to shift the mindset for OGs to ROI through and creators to ROI through rebasing and through Vibe income. And you have to remember that whenever you do the calculations using the calculator, the Vibe calculator, if you start to play with the price a little bit, run the income based on a 23-cent price and run the income at a $25 price. So it's really important for you guys to kind of see how the mechanics work. So trying to ROI just through trading is probably not going to generate the revenue that we're all waiting for. We really want to do shift it to ROI through revenue sharing. So that's really where the money's going to be made. Yeah.
Congratulations from a lot of people, and also some funny messages. So
401k. Yeah, don't do that.
yeah, this is yeah, this is great. So this is fantastic news. Appreciate everyone. All right, with that, we'll get going with the rest of our spotlight for today. So we always start with our standard 4 blocks here: protocol, listing, issues, and backlog. So let's go through that. Starting out with protocol, I had a great meeting yesterday with our validator team and Mike, and we've finalized the schedule for the protocol upgrade. And it looks like this. So the week of November 8, we're going to update testnet. The week of November 25, we're going to update mainnet. And then the week of December 2 is going to be an activation block. Now, what the heck is an activation block? Let's talk about that a little bit. Well, we want to make sure that all the validators have adequate time to get their nodes updated. So what's going to happen is the software is going to be updated, but the key features are going to remain dormant. They will remain dormant until a predefined block occurs. So I don't know what that block is right now. We have to calculate that and figure that out. But when that block occurs, that's when the new update actually takes effect. So the software will be dormant on validator nodes until that time. So that's what an activation block means. And in order to really test out this functionality on mainnet, we agreed that we would do an auto rebase after the first epoch of activation. So we hit the activation block, software gets activated, and there will be an auto rebase happening. So everyone's wallets is going to see a bump in their Vitruveo balance. So yeah, so once we have that activation block figured out, we'll let you know, and everyone can look forward to that. And it should be an exciting moment. So that's it for the protocol. Now let's look at our listing. I put Mike on the spot there and had him talk about this before we started. But that's basically what we are doing here. Is we are working to get everything going according to plan so that we go live in January. Now, just want everyone to know that because we are a chain, the development team of each centralized exchange really controls the schedule, and we're going to push them to expedite as much as possible. But because it's a chain, they have to integrate Vitruveo in there. So I just want everyone to be aware of that one little thing that's outside our control. We can control a lot of things, but that one thing is outside our control. But that's why we are starting early. That's why we've got the listing agent. Is shortcut the messaging. In our prior interactions with exchanges, you send a message out and it might be 4 days before someone replies, But with the listing agent, we are told it should be shortcutted to a day at the most. So that is going to be very helpful. So anyway, that's listing update. Next is issues. All right. So as you can probably see, Vibe in scope is broken right now. It's got the maintenance message. That's because we are working on removing the pools feature. It's now deprecated based on the activities of the past week. We need to do a maintenance window of approximately 3 to 4 hours. It could be a little bit longer, but generally that's about the time it's going to take. and we are targeting very late tonight, Saturday, 11 p.m. PST, to probably the wee hours of the morning to do that. So what we'll do is during that time we'll pause staking, because what happens is when you stake, it calls the Vibe contract and automatically airdrops you your Vibe, right? So we can't have that. So both staking and the Vibe contracts will be paused during the maintenance window. We'll get the maintenance done, and then everything should be up, including scope with the correct numbers and all of that information in there. So that is coming up tonight. Now, the second thing is the large. I meant to say Veo buys there. Sorry, it says Vortex, and I see some comments about it. I'm going to address it head on. So the large Veo buys are failing because of Vortex. What happens is that there are 5 tokens that are essentially airdropped to the buyer. And what we've identified is that the Vortex airdrop, because we have to identify a random rarity, etc., is taking up too much gas. And the larger the amount they're buying, the more time it takes. So we've identified a fix for it. What we are going to do is basically make the Vortex airdrop such that it writes you an IOU. So you can go to the Vortex page and then hit a claim button, and then it can work separately. So we're going to deploy that feature today. And we are fully committed to getting all the failed transactions also fulfilled by the end of the day. My sincere apologies if you purchased Veo bundles and they have not yet been fulfilled. We now know what the cause is. We didn't know the cause before. We know the cause now, and we'll get them manually fulfilled today while we also deploy the automated fix. So this won't happen in the future. Again, my sincere apologies. Very, very sorry that you did not receive your Veo bundle tokens as scheduled, but they will be taken care of today. So thank you for your patience and appreciate that. All right. Next up is a backlog. So last week we checked off staking and scope. This week we are scratching off pools, but we are checking off Vibe in scope, because now that is enabled and ready to go and has been successfully going on for the past 48 hours. So I just want to remind folks that if you staked starting November 1, which is when we got the staking activated in scope, you are still due Vibe. That will be airdropped to you probably Sunday. By Sunday, it will be airdropped to you. There are 3 other things on this list here. We've got Validator and Super Boosters, Vitruveo airdrop. That's to be completed still. And we do want to finish updating the Veo landing page. I know that's been significantly delayed because of all the other things we've been working on. Rest assured, I see a lot of questions about am I still eligible for the orbit? And that's not a problem. There's still plenty of inventory there, not an issue at all. And Vortex, Mike, fill us in on that.
Yeah, so everything is going really well with the white paper. With the launch of Sabong, we kind of wanted just to hold off on launching that, really to give Sabong some breathing room, so that we can focus on one thing at a time, or at least one game at a time. For the white paper, we're just adding the graphics to it, and yeah, and then there's a little bit of tweaking on the tokenomics that we're fine tuning, but I expect it's going to be ready any day now. Yeah, but we're just giving, to be honest with you, we didn't crank it out just because we really did want to, give a little a breathing room for Sabong so that we could focus on that.
Yep. All right. So that is the story on the backlog items. There's probably others, and like I said, we surfaced the 5 most important ones, and there's others that we'll take care of as they get their turn. All right. And now let's talk about community projects. We are a little early here, so I don't see our special guest. So let's skip this topic for now, and we'll come back to it. Give me a moment, and we'll proceed.
I'll take care of that, Nick.
Sorry?
I'll take care of it.
Okay, great. Yeah. Give me a moment. I'm going to fast forward through that part, and then we'll come back to it. Here we go. now it's time for an update about Exhibit. All right. So lots going on there, a lot going on there, honestly. And let's go through it step by step. So first, let's review the roadmap. For November, we are supposed to go into stores beta. We are supposed to have streams alpha. That's what we are working on right now. And for December, we've got streams beta. And then, of course, we've got, I put this in Exhibit because it's important. It's important, especially to all the artists, etc., in terms of the listing schedule. So that's there. I also wanted to highlight that we've got some projects on the side that we are working on. We've got the VUSD buy page. We've got print license we are working with, and also patron onboarding. So let's start. I think a good place to start with would be with VUSD. Let me switch over here to the search page. And now you can see that the buy VUSD link is lit up. So when you go there, you can see that you can connect wallet and you can buy VUSD. Currently, the Vitruveo feature is enabled. USDC is coming soon. Probably, I would say middle of next week, it should be there. So then our buy VUSD page will be complete and enable you to buy VUSD for purchasing artworks. All right, moving back here, let's look at what we have. Talk about stores. So stores, as we are on track to get it going this month. Lots of activity there, especially in Dubai, talking to other galleries about it, etc. So let's see where we are. So our phase 1 for stores is with search filter only. So that is what we are developing first, and we'll release first. And then immediately after that, we will add an artist invite feature. So you have your store, you can filter it by any means you wish, any type of. So for example, if you want to throw up a store there that is just photographs or a subset of that, you can do that. And then the next phase, which follows very shortly after that, is the artist invitation phase. That's a bit more complex because there's a whole workflow. The store invites the artist by email. The artist gets an email. They click on a link. They accept, and all those kinds of things. So that workflow is also happening. At the same time, we're also developing gallery follow-up material. So for all the galleries we've talked to, we want to make sure that they understand how this works, and to get their artists and their collectors all on the same page. We are on track for beta this month, and I want to show you a couple of the screens that we're working on. Don't have it in QA yet. As soon as it's in QA, I'll be able to do this live, which should probably be next Friday. But for right now, you can see that we are developing a similar UI to the Studio consignment UI. In fact, this particular feature is going to be in Studio, where the person creating the store goes in, identifies their organization, identifies which artwork filters they want, identifies the appearance and content they want on the marketplace, which means things like the brand colors, the logo, things like that. And then they can review and publish. So what we've got going on here is uploading the logos, uploading the banners, setting up the markup for the store, setting up the description and things like that. So that's all coming together really well. This UI will probably change a little bit before it goes into QA. That, as I said, should be next week. Okay. Now, Mike, one of the things that happens every week is that we get really deep into this, and some of the questions that are relevant to these topics, they flow by. So should we take a moment here and look and see if there's any questions about store, etc., and address those? Yeah.
If you don't mind taking care of that, Nick, I'm just working on that other issue.
Yeah. Let's see here. I don't see on Exhibit there are many duplicates and triplicates in the stack. Yes, that is a known bug. That's happening because every time a user makes a change and republishes, that same thing goes away. We've identified an algorithm to fix that, and we will be cleaning that up. Rich says, Nick, you said the goal for Vibe is to be worth 20,000 in 5 years. Did you mean 2,000? Yes, I did. In my spreadsheet at the time I was demoing, the Vibe count was 10. So it was a 10x multiple. I apologize for that, but it is 2,000. That is correct. All right. And G Giant asks, can you add your own music to a curation and streams? Well, that is a good feature. Let me put that on our list, and maybe we'll get that done. Add own music to curation. That's a good idea. Um, and Tina asks, how are you selecting artist invitations? Um, I'm not sure what this refers to. It might be about the store and inviting artists. It's not us who's inviting the artists, it's you, the store creator, who are inviting whichever artists you want to belong to your store. So you provide the email addresses, and Exhibit sends them an invitation to join your store. And there are two scenarios. They're either on board already on Exhibit, in which case it's pretty easy. They just hit accept. Or scenario two, they know nothing about Exhibit, in which case they are directed through another workflow, which includes optionally the ability to either watch a video or join a live workshop, which we will have weekly, where they can learn about Exhibit and also ask questions and things like that. So that's basically what that's about. All right, we are done with those questions. Let's move on here. Okay, next topic here is streams. So this is a big one, folks. So sit back. But you know what? Before we start, I see a special guest here. So I'm gonna bounce right back to our original workflow. Give me a moment here, and then we'll come back and pick up on streams. So let me get queued up here. And before I add the slide here, let me go ahead and welcome, I think for the first time on Spotlight, Mr. Garfield. Hello, welcome.
Hey, good morning, Nick. Good morning, Mike.
Good
How are
morning,
you?
Garfield.
I'm better today. I'm not wearing a hat.
Your hats cause problems?
Yeah, and I have a big rooster behind me, so I'm ready to play.
All right, that's great. We are excited to have you, Garfield. It's great. We had the flashlight last night, and it was great to have a giveaway and things like that. And but I think most of the people on here may not have attended that, so it's great for us to present that information again. So I'm going to
Yes.
bring up your deck here, and let's talk about Sabong Evolution. Very excited for this project, and take it away.
Before I start with the presentation, I just wanted to say to the community how thankful and grateful I am when I got home last night at almost 1 o'clock and I saw my DM. Everyone's congratulating, and I was just exhausted yesterday because I've been talking, and I was in Loma Linda where there was a lot of investors. So I did a couple of presentations before I got into the 6 o'clock and didn't eat lunch. So that's what happened to me. But this morning I don't have to eat lunch because it's still early. So let's get the party going. Let's get started. And I promise you, everyone, all of the answers will be given to you for most of the questions that you've asked since last night. So welcome to Sabong Evolution, Phase One. Please understand that Phase One is a standalone project, and there'll be three phases. So today we'll only talk about the Egg NFT collection. Moving forward, the release, as many of you know, will be tomorrow, November 9th at 6 p.m. I might even do a special number as Nick requested. And the reveal is scheduled on the 14th, which is this coming Thursday. And this will be a live event for the people in Cali. So this is really exciting. I wanted to just kind of inject that there'll be a couple of celebrities who will be joining us as well, because as many of you know, Sabong is yes starting with the Egg NFT, but the ultimate goal of Sabong is to go into the Sabong game and then go into the Honor Key, which is the Sabong film. More on that later on, and the cost will be $40, 40 USDC. I know some of you have already asked this question. Here's the answer. If you have a USDC in Ethereum, Base, or Binance, you can just go into the minting page, which will be revealed tomorrow, I think. Um, the minting page in our website, mint.sabongevolution.com. So if you have USDC in these blockchains, you can just go ahead and mint it. Okay, but you can also use the USDC.pol. So moving forward, this is our overview. The NFT Egg Sabong collection brings a new dimension to the universe by introducing unique NFT eggs. These NFTs are designed to be part of an expansive digital ecosystem, integrating with future games, movies, and collectibles. So it's good to understand that the Egg NFT is, again, I repeat, a standalone NFT. It's a standalone project, and you'd be surprised if I tell you now. We'll get to the Q&A later, but the Egg NFT will have the superpowers and mutation in DNA. So in other words, it is its own identity. It is its own entity. The purpose is the collection not only provides holders with exclusive digital assets, but also introduces an evolving character concept. As these NFTs are revealed, each one may showcase a distinct superpower and mutation, making each egg a unique addition to the Sabong evolution. For example, you got an NFT egg, right? And this NFT carries a lot of superpowers, and including the invisibility. So you can actually go into the ring later on. You can go into the ring, and your opponent wouldn't know that you're just an egg because you carry a lot of superpower. So that should answer some of the questions last night, that the egg is able to join anywhere in the journey, anywhere in the game. The hatchling, in the same manner, will be able to fight against, compete against a rooster. Next page, please. The key features, we have 50,000 unique NFTs. I think, Nick, we've given away 120 yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. A lot of people have won. There's another artist that said to me it was worth staying up late at night because I won a couple of NFTs. Congratulations to all of the winners. And of course, there'll be more giveaways. Mutation and superpower is very, very unique in this type of egg NFT. Games and films and merchandise integration. You will see that we have the apparel as well in the Sabong Evolution website. We have the Sabong energy drink will be released as well in the near future. We have many things, folks, that you will witness as you go with us on this journey. 100 superpowers and mutations. You see, this is really exciting. I'm not a gamer, Nick, but I get excited knowing that these eggs and hatchlings and the roosters will have these superpowers. I'm excited to know that the first wave of these buyers of these egg NFTs will get access to these eggs with the superpowers that comes with it and the mutation. So you have the fire breath, you have the lightning speed, feather blades and earthquake stomp. And I know I talk about this mind control because my ex-wife used to control my mind. That's why she became my ex. And moving forward,
all I want is the infinite chai superpower. All right.
There you go.
Okay. Just want to reiterate that. All right.
The use case, really interesting here, guys. The gaming integration. So again, I repeat, Egg has a big part in the Sabong journey, the merchandising and then media expansion, which talks about many other things, including film. Moving forward in the roadmap, as you know, each phase, Nick will present a white paper and will present a roadmap in each phase. So November 9, as we all know, will be the beginning of the minting, and November 14 will be the NFT reveal. Again, I can't reiterate it enough. November 14 will be an exciting event for all of us, the community and the outside investors. Early 2025 will be the game integration. So the sooner we raise funds and be able to start the game, the better, because we're making it as we go, folks. And late 2025 is the media expansion. Now, how to participate? And here's the answer to the question. Mint.sabongevolution.com. I know some of you have tried. Oh, I can't access it. Well, because it's not. It's gonna go live tomorrow, folks. Okay, these Mint page will go live tomorrow, and you'll be able to begin minting. It's just like remembering the Veo event. The Saturday Night Live. You know, that will be the case tomorrow at 6 p.m. The vision is own a piece of this dynamic entertainment ecosystem, unlock exclusive perks, and shape the Sabong universe. Don't just collect, evolve with us, and step into the future. Claim your place. You know, it's a simple vision, but it goes a long ways, brothers and sisters. It goes a long ways because you will discover that in this journey, there are many things that the Sabong team has dedicated to its community, as well as the dedication that we have for the Vitruveo blockchain. We're almost done. So it's a quick presentation, Nick, Mike. The Sabong's rev share talks about the 12,000 vibe that the team have already committed to the community. Now, I know I always say this on the main channel, the cat reserves its right to increase the commitment without further notice. And I say the same thing today. The 12,000 is not set in stone. It's not going to get lower. Can it go higher? 100% it can. 100,000 Vitru rebase will be dedicated to the community as well. And can this go higher? I think it can, but I'm not going to promise on that one. But at least I know on the vibe, we can work on increasing that as we go into the second and third phase. But the rebase is whatever comes first. So in other words, if the rebase is set to last up to 5 to 7 years, Nick, that means all of that rebase will be given to all of the NFT holders. Okay, whichever comes first, and that's the bonus that we're giving. And I think what I did last night, Nick, I did some reflection before I went to bed, is that I was trying to explain. This, give this answer based on the investor point of view, when in fact I should have answered it based from a gamer standpoint. So I'll do better today, and as promised, we will try to answer all the questions. And I think the last page will speak for itself there. The benefits and perks for the USDC buyers, and anybody who buys into 10 or above will qualify for the 5 Vive raffle, and we'll have 30 winners plus 5 Vortex, 10 Vitru. Anybody who buys 50 and above will qualify for the 10 Vive raffle. We'll select 25 winners, and they'll get along with it 10 Vortex and 20 Vitru. And anyone who buys 100 will qualify for the 20 Vive raffle, and there'll be 20 winners for that, plus 15 Vortex and 30 Vitru. And finally, anyone who buys into 1,000, we all know that will be 40,000. It'll be an instant 100 Vive airdrop plus 75 Vortex, 2,500 Vitru, and 10,000 Vitru. This is what we commit for now. And I think it's, as many of you know, the cat in many ways tried to always be generous to the community, because the cat loves the community, Nick. And I'm done. Back to you.
All right. Wonderful. So I think we can take some questions and from the community, and then if there's any other topics that are unanswered, we can probably go into a little more detail also. So
yeah, I actually forwarded a list of questions that they put together from the channel. Maybe Mike can pull that up and copy paste one question at a time. Is that possible, or we just
Now let's take the community questions first because they are live right now asking, and then we can go through some of those.
Right. But those are the questions that came from the community.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the folks who are live right now in the audience.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So can I combine superpowers into one rooster? So we talked about this last night about how the different phases connect with each other, and I think the community was definitely interested in knowing more about that. You mentioned that the projects are separate, right?
Right.
Or
I
and
think the best
individual
answer,
mints.
yeah, I think the best answer to this question, can I combine superpowers, is trade ups will be available. In other words, if you got the egg today and it's got superpowers, can you use those superpowers to a rooster? No, the rooster will also have its own superpower. So, in other words, if your rooster has less power combined compared to your egg, because your egg has the most superpower, then you have a better chance of winning in the competition when you go into the ring using your egg and its invisible powers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
perfect.
there was the
Go ahead.
question about when can we use Vitru to buy to mint Sabong NFTs?
Oh, I think if I could remember it correctly, V-True can be used after 25,000 NFTs has been sold.
Got it. So the
And
first
then,
25,000 is USDC, and after that you can do USDC or Vitru for
correct.
buying. That's great. And
And
that's
then
just
after the 30th thousand, you can do Vitro, and
all
then
right.
V-True, and then USDC.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So the what is the downside then to waiting until 25,000
Oh,
or so?
well, I know I've said this last night, and I know we have a different crowd today. I'll say it again. The reason why we encourage the USDC buy-in is because, as many of us know, if not all of us know, the goal is to raise funds so that we can begin development of the game. So we try to encourage everyone to buy with USDC, and that's the reason why the first wave, 50% of all superpowers, Nick, and mutation will be given to, I think, the first 5,000, 50% of all the superpowers will be given to the first 5,000. The second 5,000 reduces to 40%, and so on and so forth. So it's imperative for us, especially if you're a gamer or whether you're a gamer or an investor. It's good to be on the first wave because it's like saying, "Oh, if I buy 10, it's almost guaranteed that half of that will have its most of the superpowers and the mutations."
Got it. Let's back up a little bit to the. I think I see some live questions and I see some prior questions also about how this technically will work. And the question is sort of, is the vibe in a new pool or something like that? So I can answer that. I mean,
Okay.
basically, we've deprecated pools. We will work out the technical strategy on how this will happen. But basically, what Sabong has is 12,000 vibe. And what we will do is we will enhance the contract so it can check when you make a claim if you are holding a Sabong NFT, and based upon that, allow you to get rev share. That number is initially fixed at 12K, but if it is editable. In other words, if Garfield comes and says, "Hey, we want to change that to 15," then the contract will be changed to 15. So it's not a pool; it's just a quota, if you will. And by holding in a Sabong NFT in your wallet, the contract will know that you're eligible for that rev share. So it's exactly like that. And the same goes for the Vitru rebase. The rebase will accumulate, and it will check. The contract will check if you are holding a Sabong NFT, and you are able to withdraw your portion of it. So that is it. Let me see if there's any more questions from last night that weren't. Let's see. Will investors be able to purchase the egg NFT with just USDC, not bridged over to USDC.pol, meaning not on Vitruveo? And I think that's answered in one of your slides. I'm going to back up here.
That's correct.
Right here. Yeah.
Yes. So they can buy, they can mint directly from Ethereum, Polygon, Base, and Binance as well.
Great. Yeah. So I think that covers, I think you've covered most of the content of all the others. There are some questions about future phases, etc., but let's stay focused on this phase
Yeah.
right now, I think. All right, let's continue then. You said, the reveal date is November 14th, and I want to talk a little bit about that date because it is kind of interesting.
Right.
We have also committed to that date being the date on which we add 2 million Vitru
That's
uh,
correct.
to Vibe. And I understand some people are noticeably wondering, like, hey, won't that increase the active supply? Yes and no. Yes, because I think by now we know that we have a community that is actually focused on helping us uh, continue with the success. So I feel like even if people claim, you know what they're going to do right away? Let's go back and stake that and get some more Vibe. you
That's
know.
right.
So this is our way of saying thank you to the community. And yeah, there's a risk that some people might claim that and use that to dump, but it's a risk I think we are willing to take because we trust that a majority of the community, whatever they claim, they'll probably restake it and get more Vibe.
And
So
if I may add, Nick,
yeah,
even if they decide to sell, we have a community also who will scoop them up. So
yeah, that's true.
it'll
That's
be an
true.
exciting. Remember, we
Yeah,
have a community outside the community, so we're here to back Vitruveo in any way possible.
yeah. So let's continue with that talk about November 14th. I'm very excited to report that I will be going to SoCal on the 14th to meet with you in person and also Mike. And I just met Mike in Dubai, so it's not news anymore. But but it's still excited to meet with you in person again, Mike, in your home turf. So this is very great. This is going to be an amazing, amazing time there. And let's talk about why. So we're going to do two main things. We're going to do lots of other things, but there are two main priorities in this trip. The first one is Garfield has put together a coalition of investors, and I'll be meeting with them. I will, in a moment, I will turn it back to Garfield to present the plan. But we are going to essentially present Sabong as a strategic partner for Vitruveo. And Garfield is going to talk about the plan right now. But what's really exciting is that 40% of all the investment capital that's coming to Sabong is going to be used to buy Veo bundles. In other words, fund Vitruveo. So Garfield, first of all, thank you. This is mega amazing. This is so amazing on so many fronts. But let's talk. Please talk to us about the investor deal you put together.
Well, humbly I say, as I have been a member of this community for, since the beginning, obviously, and I followed you from July 23, 2023. What I've decided to package here is simply my way of showing to the community that I'm not just in it for the money. I'm not just in it for me. I'm not just in it for my bag or my wallet. Yeah, I may be a whale, but I was once a tadpole. So because of the people that trust and believe in me, we were able to put together a package that the limited membership of 50 exclusive members, 25,000 contributor of USDT or USDC. This has been released prior to today. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we already have about 12, 13 people that have already committed to this 25,000 contribution. So in exchange for that 25,000 contribution, we're giving the 1% of the 20% of the Sabong franchise. So it's an opportunity. I know that last night or this morning I saw a question about, is there any other streams of income aside from Vibe and Vitru? Well, Vibe and Vitru rebase is not a stream of income. It's a bonus that we decided to give. Ultimately, the stream of income for Sabong is the game. And if we foresee that the game in the next year or two will be a multi-billion-dollar industry, if not trillion, right? Then you can just imagine the power of Sabong. That's the reason why we want it to be a success. We're not just here to raise funds and, oh, it didn't work. No, we're here to raise funds so that we can perfect this game for the world, for the young generation. So that 1% of the 20% of Sabong franchise will be given to each member that contributes 25,000. They'll receive 15 NFTs per phase. They will also receive 500 Vibe, and I have shown them the potential income for each 100 Vibe, and they were just blown away. And they will be given 1,000 VUSD. They'll be given 300 Vortex as an incentive as well, 30,000 Vitro, and finally 15,000 Vitru. That will be staked for 1 year. Now, out of the 25, we've already committed to you, to the blockchain, that 10,000 will go into Veo, because we need to buy the assets to give to the contributors. And I think that's what you're talking about when you said 40%. So that's our way of showing that we're not just here so that we can make money. We're here because we want to help Vitruveo. We want to help the community. We want to show the community that we are truly committed. Back to you.
Yeah, again, I cannot express how grateful I am, and I look forward to meeting with you in person, meeting with your investors, and continuing to tell them about our journey and our story, and about how we can together be make it a 1 + 1 = 5. Be very, very successful.
That's right.
All right, so that's the first one. The second one is really, really cool and really, really exciting. We've got a meeting set up with multiple Hollywood movie producers, thanks to you and your team. I don't know if we can name names yet, so I'll keep them secret for now, but we'll name them at the right time. But what we want to do is introduce new Film 3 business models to these producers in order to get live, real movies going with Vitruveo as the platform on which they're built. We want to start the strategic planning for Vitruveo movie vertical and really start with a couple of partners and get the things going.
That's right. That's right. That's what makes it exciting, because in the traditional world, when you produce a movie, you make a movie, then you sell it you go through the distribution center. The what if in the Web3 would be an opportunity for the community to actually own the movie, to crowdfund the movie, it would be an amazing opportunity, because my partner have already committed to bringing in producers and directors of Hollywood movies to meet with you when you come down here next week. So
yeah, I'm very excited, because so far Film 3 has been tepid. There have been a few experiments, but none has taken off. I feel one of the main reasons is also the same reason Web3 art is kind of not thriving. It's because you don't own the full stack. When you don't have control of the blockchain and the protocol and are tied by their rules, it's very hard to be flexible. We offer movie producers and really the movie industry a full stack, and by that, it allows us to be very flexible. We can do things in the protocol that other people cannot do, and we have that leeway. And so we can introduce more dimensions to the Film 3 methods that have been or experiments that have been tried so far, including fractionalization of movie ownership and things like that, where I think also the prior experiments were essentially trying to use decentralized technology, blockchain technology, in replacing the existing players. Now, anyone who's a member of this industry knows that there are very deeply entrenched players with a lot at stake, and they're not going to give up very easily. So it makes no sense to fight. It makes more sense to embrace and extend. And that's our approach to Film 3, is to embrace and extend what's there in Hollywood right now. And therefore, that approach, I feel, will be much more successful than trying to replace. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, and I agree in many ways, Nick, because isn't that isn't that the purpose of a blockchain, is to solve a problem, right? So yeah, we know that many have tried in the past. We know, so in other words, now is an opportunity for us to try and do something and solve that problem. And if we succeed, then hey, good for everyone.
And I must say, all roads lead to Vibe, because that is going to be key in our discussions here. Because it's
Exactly.
not before, every experiment was siloed to a particular movie, and what we offer now is the ability to extend the same thing we are telling artists. Like, you sell one artwork, you get money for it, but with Vibe, anyone sells an artwork, you can be successful. It's the same thing to
Exactly.
the movie business. Anyone,
Hmm.
any movie is successful, you can benefit from that because of the characteristics of Vibe. So
That's
I'm
right.
I'm just super pumped about it, and we'll probably be bouncing off the walls there with excitement about this. So yeah. So Garfield, amazing. Thank you so much. Really excited to join you tomorrow at the Sabong launch event. I hope
That's
everyone
right.
will join
Nick,
us.
if I may,
Yeah.
I'd like to request Mike to check in the list that I sent, because I know I promised the community that we will try to answer the list of questions. So I forwarded that to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I think I've got most of it. The only
Okay.
problem is, Garfield, is that we've still got quite a bit that we have to get through. So what
Nice.
we'll
Okay.
do is maybe you and I can tackle some of these questions, and then we'll post them in the Discord, or like a
Very
Q and
good.
A and a minor update. So at
We
least
like
that way
that.
they have the answers. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Maybe we can even do a town hall in our channel.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
do that.
That's
I
right.
think the best place to answer these questions will be at the launch tomorrow. I think that's the
Okay.
best. We can talk at length about them and answer all the questions. But once again, Garfield,
No,
you're
thank you
amazing.
for
You're
allowing
an
me to be
asset to
here.
this community, a bright shining
Hmm.
light. Thank you for everything you do, and we'll see you again soon. See ya. Bye. All right, now let's get back to our streams. That was amazing. I just love chatting with Garfield, and I think the dimensions that he's adding to our project here are just amazing. The being able to meet with these investors, being able to meet with Hollywood producers, etc. Well, it is an amazing opportunity, and we're going to intend to capitalize on it.
Yep.
All right, folks. Let's see. Let's get back into streams here. So this is the topic that we were talking about with exhibit streams. So let's. It's on tap for this month, at least in alpha, and then December is the month of streams, really. So let's look at what we're talking about here. So first and foremost, streams is like Spotify for art. That's the way I describe it to everyone, and then they get it right away. All right. So the way streams is designed to work is, from an artist standpoint, they are just consigning the artworks, right? With Vitruveo, you don't do any minting or anything like that. You keep consigning your artworks, and over time, we keep introducing new licenses. And when you see a new license, you can go to your artwork and say, "Yep, I want my artwork available for that type of license." And one of the licenses that we already have, and pretty much everybody's opted in because we had it checked by default, is a stream license. So assume that almost all the artworks are available to be selected for streaming. So the next role, if you will, in there is that of curators. Now there are going to be professional curators, but also this is an opportunity for artists who already have a good eye for creativity, for creative works, to take on an additional role of being a curator. So what you're going to do, and what a number of you have already done, is start curating stacks. So stacks is our term for a curation, the equivalent of a playlist, maybe in Spotify. So we have a stack. So what happens then is those stacks are made available through, we will have a process for search, for discovery, for ranking, and all of those kind of things. But they are available primarily to in two modes to subscribers. One is for display screens that have native ability to accept a browser URL, and many screens these days have a built-in browser. And if you do, you don't need anything else. You're set. You have a URL, and you can have streaming occur there. But really, what is going to happen is we are going to build apps that work on what I call OTT, over-the-top boxes, such as Apple TV, Fire Stick, Roku, and things like that. So it's not going to be all at once. It does take time to build and maintain some of these apps. So we're going to target some of the more popular platforms first. But you'll have an app on there, an exhibit app, and you'll be able to use it to subscribe to one or more stacks, and you will have certain choices you can make. We intend to add a lot of dynamic capabilities to it. So, for example, you could say that from this time to this time, I want this stack, but from this time to this time, I want this other stack, allowing you to do things like choose the stacks for the day of the week based upon the outside temperature, etc. So we want to make it very, very dynamic and very, very interesting. All right. So that's how the stack model is going to work for streaming. Now, basically, what we are thinking of is that the segmentation is at two levels. So there's artists and there's subscribers, right? So the artists are going to be segmented based on the creator level. So here we go. We come back to creator level. Creator level is going to be the single most important thing for artists on this platform, because it is going to help determine what capabilities and features are available to you and what aren't. And what we want to do is to make sure that those artists who are committed to their profession as an artist are able to afford able to get access to more opportunities. But maybe if you're just a hobbyist or something like that, great, you will have opportunities. But we want to really make sure that the experienced artists who have committed to this profession, who have years of work into it, are able to see more features and things like that. So we will have segmentation based on creator level. And then for subscribers, the features and artworks that will be available to them will be based upon their subscription tier. So you can choose a lower level subscription, in which case you have fewer features and access to different artworks, or you can choose a higher level subscription tier and you have access to other kinds of artworks. So let's look at how that might come into play. So the revenue breakdown is what we'll look at first. So for our streaming subscriptions, the way we are thinking of breaking down revenue is that right at the top, the creator gets 75% of the revenue, and then 10% goes to the curator, and 5% goes to affiliates. What's an affiliate? Well, it would be someone who referred the subscriber. It could be a partner that we have a deal with who makes hardware devices, and they bring subscribers to us. So there's many different models by which we can have an affiliate. So think of it generally as a partner. And finally, for subscription revenue, we are targeting 10% of the subscription fees for the platform. What that means is 10% goes straight into Vibe. Now, with current artwork sales for the digital assets, we have a 2% fee, but we will have variable fee for different services we will bring into the picture. So for streaming, it's 10%. For something else, it might be 5%. For other things, it might be 8%, etc. It's going to vary quite a bit. 2% is the base that we intend to have as a fee for our services. So now let's look at what it is from sort of the subscriber point of view. So currently we are thinking of 3 subscription tiers. Now bear in mind that these subscription tiers are consumer level. This is not business level subscriptions. The business level subscriptions we are not ready to entertain yet, but expect that those will be anywhere from $1,000 a month to $50,000 a month based upon the location. So for example, if it's an airport lounge or something like that, it's going to be a much higher tier of pricing, but also more experienced artists and more experienced curators and things like that. But let's focus on the consumer grade here. So you have 3 tiers, A, B, and C. And what you can see is at each tier, the level of artists, the level of creators that you have in there is progressively higher. So if you're at the $5 a month level, what you're seeing there is creators who are at level 3. So these are mid-tier creators who have probably been in the business for a couple, maybe 3 years, and have some experience, some exhibitions, things like that. And as you go up higher, you have more experienced creators that will be available. Their artworks will be available in the stacks for you. Currently, we are thinking that level 1 and level 2 creators will not be eligible for streaming, simply because we want to ensure that all the stacks that we see are really people who are very highly committed to their craft. And at level 1 and level 2, those are really entry level creators. We would hope that they would spend some time in the ecosystem and grow and elevate to level 3, level 4. It's an opportunity for you to reach the next level, and work hard and get there. And that so for right now, we are thinking that level 1 and level 2 would not be eligible. So that's kind of the subscription and the cost model. This might change. These are things that we've put together right now based upon our planning, etc. But one of the things you should know when you're creating a startup or creating a new business is you make certain assumptions, but then you go test them out with customers, etc. You gather data, and then you evolve. You change that. So if these change, I certainly don't want people to say, "Oh, you said this on the spotlight on that day, and now it's different." Well, I'm almost positive that it will be different, because once we start talking to customers and once we start making the offers, you get data, right? You get market research, you get information, you get intelligence, and you have to adapt. It would be foolish to say that I put this on a slide in a spotlight and therefore we're not going to change it. It doesn't work that way. So it's the market. We want to make sure that we meet the needs of the market, and that's what we are going to do. So now on this slide here, there's a link that takes you to a worksheet. I've presented this worksheet before, and today what I've done is kind of simplified a little bit and also update it for the current model. So let's look at that worksheet a little bit. I apologize to the artists among you who are going to be, I think numbers are very confusing. So, but I'm going to walk through the sheet and make sure everyone kind of understands it. If you want to look at this spreadsheet yourself, you can go to vitru.xyz/stream-revenue. All right, so a little bit of repetition here. So first and foremost, you have the curator fee, the affiliate fee, the platform fee, and that adds up to 25%. All right, and then the creator income is 75%. So I highlighted here in green that this platform fee of 10% goes straight to the Vibe contract. All right, so that's a really great reason to be holding Vibe. I say again and again, Vibe is the best thing that you can be holding right now. If you got Vitru right now, it can just sit in your wallet, but it really should be staked so you can get Vibe. That's the best thing you can do for long-term income for yourself. All right, now let's look at some of our projections. These are very early projections, and we'll refine them. And as we refine them, we'll present them to you. But right now, we are thinking of a first year, meaning 2025 goal of 25,000 subscribers. I know it's not a very large number, but when you're starting out with a new service, you want to kind of test the waters. You want to experiment a bit, and it's unlikely that you're going to get a deluge of subscribers right away. So these numbers here are exactly what we talked about in the prior slide, the prices. But here you have a column called DIST. That stands for distribution. And what we are doing here is saying distributing of 100% of these 25,000 subscribers. What's the breakdown going to be? So we are saying that a majority of the customers are going to come in at the $5 a month level. That's 80%. 15% are going to come in at the $20 a month level, $19.99 to be precise. And about 5% of them are going to come in at the $50 level, $49.99. All right. So that gives us a breakdown of customers. And then based upon that, we have revenue projections. Now, keep in mind that just like every SaaS, software as a service business, there are some things that you can expect with any business that's a subscription model. You have things like churn, where you lose certain subscribers every month. Then you have new subscribers joining. There's also a customer acquisition cost, a marketing cost. You have to try and recoup that. Every business that has this kind of model knows their customer acquisition costs and knows how long they need to keep the customer in order to recoup that. That's why when you go and subscribe, you see people trying to get the annual subscription versus the monthly one, or even breaking it down into 3-month chunks, etc. Because the customer acquisition cost is very real and it's quite expensive, and you want to get that investment back as quickly as possible. Anyway, based upon these numbers in the spreadsheet here, you will see a breakdown. These numbers are just straightforward based on multiplying the percentages. So you've got a curator fee, an affiliate fee, a platform fee, and a creator income. So 75% goes straight to the creators. All right. So now let's look at the creators and see how that works. So we are targeting around 10,000 creators in our first year. And what we want to do is, we don't know exactly where they will land, but we are projecting here that we have a distribution of sort of level 5 at about 5% of our creators, level 4 at about 15%, and a bulk of the creators we are expecting will be at level 3, which is right in the middle of there. Now, based upon these numbers and these levels, we also have guesstimates right now in terms of the productivity level of these creators. So we are estimating certain artworks per year. So we are saying a person at level 3 is likely to be creating artworks that take less time and are more prolific. That might be an invalid assumption. This is what I mean by saying is we're going to go to the market, we're going to try this out, and very soon, in a matter of months, we'll have real data. And we can say that, oh, well, our assumption about level 3 artists was terrible. They, in fact, don't do 50, they do 20 artworks a month or something like that. We'll find all that out. But right now, our assumptions are that a level 3 creator does around 50 artworks a year, a level 4 does about 25, and level 5 does about 10 artworks a year. It might be that certain level 5s do 1 artwork every 3 years or something like that. We don't know. We don't have enough data for that. And so going through this experiment, at least in the first year, is going to give us a lot of data and will help us understand how to shape the business model. Now, draw your attention to this blue column here. So this is what we are calling a curation rate. What that means is, yes, you might be prolific as an artist, but that doesn't mean all your artworks are going to end up being curated. Remember, curators are essentially the arbiters of whether your artwork gets into a stack or not. So what's their criteria? Well, I think it's very simple. Their criteria is that your artwork must be excellent. So we are going to find out very quickly that artists who are in the business of just cranking out artworks for the purpose of selling them like NFTs are going to find that their efforts are not at all rewarded. They are just going to be cranking out stuff that ends up really getting pushed to the bottom. The artists who are going to thrive the most are the ones who pay attention to quality and who really try and excel at their craft. So here we are saying that of the level 3 artists, about the 50 artworks they create, they have a curation rate of 20%. Again, an assumption, don't know if it's true. No one's going to know until we actually try out this experiment. But we are also saying here at the level 5, at the more experienced level, there's a greater probability that a curator is going to select their artwork because there's a greater chance that it's a higher quality artwork. So there's a 90% chance there. And middle tier, it's around 40%. So this results in the artworks that are actually monetizable. And that's what we do then is based upon this, we kind of divide up the revenue. Now, we're going to create models for things like how much your particular artwork is, how many views it's getting, what rotations it's getting, and things like that. So those algorithms are still being developed, but for the purpose of this spreadsheet, it's okay to say it's just linear, and we break it down. And what we come up with is in this model here with 25,000 subscribers, we are basically projecting that a level 5 creator will make around $1,125 a year. Now, obviously, that's going to go up significantly as our subscribers count goes up. So everything is going to be driven by the number of subscribers and also your curation rate. So if you have a higher curation rate, you're going to make a higher income. It's that simple. What does that require you to do? Just create amazing artworks. The more amazing your artworks, the more likely curators are going to select them, and the more likely subscribers are going to pick those. Because remember, curator might pick the artwork, but if no one is subscribing to that stack, there aren't enough views for it, and therefore it won't be monetized. So if you want to think about an analogy for this, do think about the streaming services where there are top artists and they are played more often, and so they make more money. So it's small amounts of money in recurring in recurring in a recurring model, and you make multiples of that. So based upon this, we put a small number of projections here together for the next 5 years, and we are starting off at 25K, and we are going all the way up to 10 million subscribers. Now, this is global. This is in every country where there is a small amount of discretionary income. Remember, we are talking about $5 and $50 a month. So this is a far cry from buying NFTs where the bar is extremely high. We are trying, the NFT bar is you have to be a collector and have discretionary income where you're buying, $150, $200, $500, $1,000 artworks. That's not happening, folks. We know that already. So that in our projections, we are saying that, in terms of the revenue model, the artist is going to make from all the different types of licensing, the digital asset, the NFT, we are projecting maybe 15 to 20%. We are projecting greater revenue is going to come from these types of licenses where the ask for a patron is much, much smaller. So based upon this, we are looking at a revenue projection going from about $2.8 million in 2025 all the way to $1.1 billion in 2029. And then based upon the breakdown of the percentages, you can see the Vibe revenue, the curator revenue, and the creator income. I'm not going to go through all those numbers. These numbers are what in the business we call these top down, where we make certain assumptions, like we have about the percentages, and then just calculate. What's going to happen as we get more data is we'll be able to do bottom up calculations, which is starting with the real data and then computing exactly what the projected numbers will be. So I look forward to sharing with you bottom-up numbers once we have that information. But we're going to work with these assumptions right now, and gradually, slowly, as we build out the service, the assumptions will be replaced by real data, and we can make some real decisions. So with that, let's head back here and look at a couple of more things. So I want to talk about our go-to-market. Go-to-market is very important because you can build a service, but they will not come, right? So we have to make sure that we plan for it. So I'm very excited to report here that we're going to approach the market with the same freemium model that we see pervasively. We see it everywhere, and we have the ability to approach the market with just that. So here's how it works. So in step one, we're going to select a few amazing curators. We'll have some process for it. I don't know what that process is right now. I have given it zero thought. But let's just say that we have this process by which we select a few amazing curators. They're going to create, curate a few what we are calling public stacks. So public stacks are important because they are free for all users. So these are professionally curated stacks that are free for everybody. How can they be free? Well, the artworks that are in there are created by artists, and none of those artists agreed that their artwork will be free. So how are they going to get paid? Well, the funding is going to come from the Vitruveo treasury for the public stacks revenue, with one condition, that whatever income is coming, for now at least, it's going to be auto-staked for 6 months. So we cannot afford to have lots of free-floating Vitru out there in the initial period when we go on exchanges. So at least for the initial part of this, we are going to pay you for your artwork being used in a public stack, whatever the revenue model is based upon the views and things like that. But the capital for it is going to come from the treasury, and it will be auto-staked to your account for 6 months, after which you'll be able to claim it. So that's the way we can bootstrap it. We've learned our lesson from VUSD about just having credits for free. We see a lot of people abusing it. We will not allow that anymore. So this is a smarter way to go about it, where we will fund the public stacks for artists and for users to start experiencing our service. Because what we want is for people to experience exhibit streams. They are not going to immediately go ahead and buy it, because that's going to be difficult. So when they experience it, then we can try the freemium model, which means we, when they are viewing their streams, etc., we can do a marketing call to action, encouraging the users to become subscribers and start paying for it. So that's the road we're going to take. This is in one slide capturing a very complex series of interactions, a complex series of actions, but that's kind of where we are going with it. Things are going to change along the way, and as we change and as we learn new things, I'm going to share those with you. But this is the plan right now, and that's how we're going to approach starting in December and through the year 2025. It's going to take a while to bootstrap this business, get it off the ground. I don't want anyone to be under the illusion that we snap our fingers and in February or March we have a thriving streaming business. No, there's a lot of work to be done, and it's going to be slow to start, but then it'll pick up and we'll see success. We are experimenting with new models of licensing which are not one and done. NFTs are one and done, and we don't want that. We know it doesn't work. We want to give artists recurring income, and this is the way we are going to approach it. So let's see if there's any questions. Mike, do you see questions here about this?
Not about this particular, but there are questions that we can tap towards the end, if that's okay, Nick.
All right, cool. Then let's continue. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the projects also. I think I already went over one of them. So VUSD, the project is live in exhibit for Vitruveo, and USDC is in development. The next project we are working on is the print license. So I talked about stream license here, but print license is very important also. And what we want to do is work toward getting it up as quickly as possible. Perhaps I cannot commit to this because there are a lot of variables, but I think this would be something great for the holidays when people are looking for interesting gifts to buy, etc. So having a print license and giving people the ability to, when they are viewing an artwork, choose the license they want. So if they want to have a digital collectible, they can get that. If they want to have a print, they can get that. And we'll educate artists on how to price things, etc. Obviously, you're not going to charge the same thing for a print license as you would for a digital collectible. We are working on identifying the fulfillment services and working through the payment model, which will primarily be credit card and all of those things. And last but not the least, this is super important, and we're not going to neglect it, is patron onboarding. As you see already with the VUSD credits being revoked, the buy activity has tapered off on exhibit. Not to worry. I am committed to doing the buying blitzes, and we'll talk about that to keep that activity going. But that is a stopgap measure. Ultimately, we have to get real patrons on board. And for that, we've developed a strategic plan. We are creating an incentive structure to get people to come on board with exhibit and start buying. So that's going to happen, but it takes time. For any new system, it takes time. And I call on you to have patience as we work through it. But until then, the buying blitzes are going to take care of those things, and that's going to continue on a weekly basis. And now that we've established some rules around it, I think we can do it very, very safely. So speaking of that, let's go to a couple of other things that are important. Please remember that our Veo bundles are still available and still being sold. I was great to see some activity there last few days. I think a few people asked the question about that 90% Vitruveo that's auto staked if it's eligible for Vibe. Folks, the contract is set up. The staking contract is set up that anytime there is a $150 Vitruveo stake, it automatically issues Vibe. You cannot bypass that. It's automatic. So wherever your Vitruveo comes from, when you're staking it, it automatically gets you the Vibe. All right. And so last announcement here is the buying blitz. So I asked in X about whether Sunday would be a good day, and so sounds like people would like that. So I'm pleased to announce that there's the resumption, because I was not doing it while I was in Dubai. The resumption of the buying blitz. So we'll have one on Sunday, November 8th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. UTC. Now here's the key. This is a new model now, so please pay attention. The funds from the buying blitz will be auto stake for 1 year. So if you have a sale of over 150 in that buying blitz, you will have Vibe instantly airdropped to you. So remember, the buying blitzes, etc., we are doing are there in order to bootstrap and get the exhibit ecosystem going. And we put these measures in place because we have had a lot of people abuse them. And with this, we feel much safer about doing the buying blitzes. So what do you have to do? Well, you must curate a stack. You don't need to fill in any form. You don't need to do anything. You just need to curate a stack, because now we have the stacks feature. So here, if you haven't seen it, it's right here. There's a cool stacks feature now. And all the stacks that are created are immediately visible here. So just curate a stack. Your stack must have a theme. I have seen stacks previously where people just put a bunch of artworks together. That won't work. That will not be eligible for the buying blitz. I will not look at those. Your stack must have a title and a proper description. When I say proper description, the description must explain the theme. So whatever your theme is, your description must speak to it, must address it. I don't know what's right. I think there's a limit of 200 words or something like that. Use that, please, to create a very good and interesting description for your curation. Use the grid visualization. Do not use another visualization. Maximum of 16 artworks. So that's what we are looking for. And really, really excited to be with you on Sunday for this buying blitz. And that will mean that I will have been on YouTube for 5 days in a row at that point. It's crazy, but fun. All right. I think that's it. Yep, that's it for today. So I'll leave this up there, and let's take questions.
Okay, sounds good. We'll start at the top and start working our way down. But there are quite a few good questions.
Okay.
Me asks, when approaching large-scale institutional investors, will you plan also espousing the Vibe investment path for them as well, as opposed to just taking a position in the coin with vesting?
No, this is a community. Vibe is for the community. It's not for institutional investors.
Okay. Question: the 2 million for Vibe bonus ill-timed? Are we trying to bring our circulating supply down? Yeah, you kind of addressed
I
this a
addressed
little
that
bit.
already.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be. Obviously, there will be. 2 million liquid is a very big difference between, um, you know, driving revenue into revenue share where there's just a little bit being released at a time. And like Nick said, I think that people will stake or hold on to it for price action, which is totally fine. We just don't want huge chunks. That's kind of the big issue. Did you add your own music to curation and streams?
Yeah, I added that as a note earlier, that I would look at it as a feature, as a to-do.
We just have to worry about copyright issues on that.
Yeah.
On exhibit, are there many duplicate and triplicate in the stack?
Yeah, I addressed this also. So maybe
Okay.
we can, yeah.
Can you verify if Theo bundle purchases allows extra Vibe for the 90%? We addressed that.
Yeah.
So that's good. Regarding vlogs and games that come aboard, how do investors benefit if the projects are not adding to the 2% rev pool? I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Obviously they're using they're contributing to the ecosystem as a whole with gas, helping the validators, and then they're also bringing new money to the chain. So they're not just going to invest in one game. They're going to look at all the different projects that are on chain. So I think it brings volume is probably the easiest way to answer that question. Nick, do you have any?
As we succeed, Vitru price appreciates. That's the
Mhm.
biggest success factor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if we have staked all Vitru, how do rebases work? Your favorite question, Nick. When or how are the staking rebases claimed?
Yeah, so you just like everything in Scope, there's going to be a claim button there next to your stakes, and you can hit that button, and it'll compute exactly how much rebases are due to you, and they'll be delivered to your wallet.
Mhm. Okay, are there going to be free trial for subscribers? I think he's talking about the streaming.
Yeah, the freemium model is exactly that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, please remove access to full resolution images until after purchase. Getty and iStock do this for a reason previously requested.
Um, I don't think it makes any difference, but we'll take a look at this issue.
Okay. Yo-Yo Momo. Hi, Mike and Nick. Please advise when the download CSV icon will be available in Explorer. Yeah, he's asked this probably 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Do we have any update on that, Nick? Um,
No, I think it's primarily because there's already a nice API there. So API allows you to get things dynamically whenever you want. CSV is a static download kind
mhm.
of, so it hasn't been a high priority for us. But I'll take a look at it. It is engineering resources, and I'm not sure what the ROI on that is because, like I said, there's already an API link, which makes it super easy for anyone to do this. But I understand if you're a non-programmer where the CSV would be useful for you. So we'll take a look at it. Not many people asking for it, so I'm not sure we want to expend the engineering resources right away, but I'll certainly take a look at it.
Okay. And will the landscaping size for document uploads be fixed to show the entire piece instead of expecting the artist to adjust?
Landscaping size for document uploads be fixed. Look, the in Studio, it's very clear what the sizes are. So we expect people to follow those sizes because we are standardizing on them. When people create artworks of arbitrary sizes, they have to be cropped. So we cannot do anything about it. Like for example, we are about to roll out a streaming service here. We can't have artworks of random sizes. They have to conform to standard sizes for 4K displays. And so I'm not quite sure what this is. Be happy to try a different answer if I can get more clarification, but I don't know what landscaping size for document uploads means. I need clarification on that.
Okay. Hank was saying that CSV is very helpful for importing transactions into crypto tax software. So
Got it. Okay, cool. I
yeah,
understand the use case now, and we'll take a look at it. It might just be enable a checkbox somewhere in Block Scout, and if that's the case, we'll get it done sooner.
yeah. Yo-Yo
Yeah.
said the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can you give more editing power to artists or stack creators to delete, etc.? Example, I made a mistake today creating the wrong stack, but I couldn't remove it and ended up with 3 versions.
Um, yeah, so we'll look at that. Look, the way we approach things here is we are building the platform right now. We are not enhancing the platform right now. So our focus is on ensuring that the core platform is built first. So anything that we consider extra is not a feature on which we will expend any engineering resources because we have to first build everything. So editing is what we consider an extra feature because um, it's something that requires significant engineering effort to bring up. So and especially for stacks, it's something that we'll take a look at. I'll make a note here to say we won't allow editing, but deleting stacks is probably something we'll do. So
Yeah.
deleting stacks should be easy. Keep in mind that one of the challenges is that we don't know where that stack link is being used. And one of the things a lot of people don't like is broken links. So maybe that stack is out there on X or something like that, and you just go and delete it. Now we have created a broken link and a bad user experience for users, and it makes the platform look bad. So we are a bit careful about that. But let's see what we can do. Maybe we can compute how many shares were made or if that link was clicked, and based upon that, make a decision about it. But deleting or editing, I'll have to talk to the team about editability. But we'll take a look at it. Thank you.
Okay. Mike, any news on Vitro staking or any news on Vitro will get listed on a SEX. So with the Vitro staking, our primary focus is, of course, the January launch for Vitru. The listing company that we're working with, they will also at the same time list Vitro. In terms of staking for Vitro, Nick, do you remember off the top of your head what the circulating supply was for Vitro? I think wasn't it like either 20 million or 50 million or I'm
It's
trying to
50, I believe.
I think it was yeah. So we actually have a very low supply. Nick and I really haven't talked about the Vitro staking as much just because there's been so much, that we've been working on. I think Nick and I talked about the idea of possibly in December starting to revisit Vitro and put together a game plan for that prior to list. But just know that it is going to be a part of our listing strategy, with this other company that we're working with. Nick, did you have any?
No, it
Yeah.
is Vitro. Vitro is going to follow Vitru. As soon as we're done with that, we'll get on it with Vitro. Um, have a lot of things we want to do with Vitro. It's important. It's just it has to wait its turn.
Okay. Let's give this guy some attention. So I've been spamming a lot about Scandinavian runes. Still waiting some info about that. Is it already abandoned? I had no idea what he was referring to on
He's
this.
talking about probably the symbols in Vortex. Is my guess. So
It's more the
that is,
glyphs.
yeah, the glyphs. They haven't been abandoned. They are still there in the token, and they might be unlocked in the game. We don't know that yet. They have certainly not been abandoned.
Mhm. Okay. Let's see. Any more info on perks? No, that was something that I think that we were going to be dealing with probably in about 3 weeks. Would you say,
Yeah. Well,
Nick?
step one of perks was to remove it from the protocol. So
Yeah,
that's happening this per the schedule I posted. So the next thing then would be to figure out how we want to enable perks, to get into the wallets of users. I think given all the efforts we are making right now to get people to stake, etc., it would be a huge monumental mistake to activate perks because they have a vesting schedule anyway. They have a 2-year vesting schedule, so um, there's still 1 year of vesting to go on that. So we have a
yeah,
little bit of time to get that going. So yeah, I think exchanges come first. We'll get the listing going, let things settle down, and then we'll pay attention to perks.
yeah. And we try to get out 1 to 2 backlogged items every week. Well, at least one backlogged item. So, like sneakers would be an example, or something like that. It's just not, putting sneakers in people's hands or figuring out some sort of replacement incentive for that promotion that we had back then. It doesn't really drive the chain forward. It's so we're really focused on the stuff that's critical for January. But we try to Biz is actively managing that list, and we're trying to tackle or at least one of those every week. So,
Yeah, I want to
okay.
address this one I see here. So adding the dimensions in parentheses next to the MB, I don't know what MB is. Mm, would give artists a guide. In studio, the dimensions are there all the time. They are present there, and we make a sincere effort to clearly communicate that. So I don't think there's any scenario in which an artist would not know about so I see megabytes next to the megabyte art limits. Yeah, the dimensions are present there. If they are not there anymore, that's a news to me because they were there and maybe something changed. But yeah, so that's two different things, right? Dimensions are X and Y, and megabyte is the size, the file size. So we have very liberal size limits there. So unless you're putting a high res video, I think you will be pretty safe there. We had some issues with print resolutions and the sizes, but those are going to be addressed once we enable printing. But I'll go and double check, but I'm pretty sure in Studio we have the dimensions clearly visible there, and or at least they were. And if they aren't, I need to put them back there. So
Yeah. So, Michael, what if I stake 100 Vitra, then later stake another 50? No, you will not be eligible for a Vibe. You have to do it in one transaction. That's the way the smart contract is written. So, unfortunately, we can't do it in aggregate. It's got to be in one transaction.
yeah. Yes, Tina says the dimensions are there. It's just that the preview is always square, never vertical if original is vertical. So I believe you're referring to the image that is first displayed on your listing page. And what we do there is we show the preview image because that is the fastest way to give the user access to the visual identity of your image. And then once the original loads, that is displayed. So that's really trying to be mindful of the user's bandwidth, because if they don't have a big pipe, that original is going to take a long time to load. The preview is always going to load fast, so we load that first, and then once the original is loaded, we display that. So if that's not happening, I'll certainly take a look at it. But that was the last we looked at it, where the square preview loads first because it's fast, and then the original loads, whatever that might be, landscape, vertical, square. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Here was Homeless basically gave a response. It was a question about the contest. At least that's how I remember it. It was presented to us in the summer. I made some simple series of NFTs for each rune, waiting for some action. Yeah. So that is related to the glyphs, I think, Nick, because that was that NFT contest was linked to Vortex, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a contest for those. So we'll honor that contest, and we'll come up with a plan around that.
Hmm.
So this is an interesting thing. So Cashflow King's earlier statement about the high res, his concern is that he will lose high percentage of retail sales as they won't buy the print license. I would argue that they will still buy a print license because not many people have the ability to print and frame an artwork at home. It's just the printing we are talking about is not just printing, with your home printer and doing something with it, or even taking that high res file and sending it somewhere, etc. The convenience of hitting a button and having, a framed artwork showing up at your doorstep is what we are looking at there. Yes, there will be a few people who will go and download the high res print and then themselves do it, but that's not going to be a vast majority of people. A vast majority of people are looking for convenience, and it's not going to be worth it for them to do this manually, because the devil is in the detail. Yeah, you got the high res file, but now you got to upload it to the print place. You got to position it, select your how you want it printed. It's a lot of steps to it. So I'm not too worried about it. And also, in the future, not right now, we will add watermarks and things like that to it, but they will be hidden. They will
Yeah.
not be visible to the naked eye.
Yeah. Emil, we actually addressed this for the booster perks. That's part of the backlog that we're working on. Just to let you guys know, uh, every single commitment that we've ever given that hasn't yet been released, Biz, one of the mods, is actively managing that list. And every Wednesday we have a mod meeting with Nick where we review all the pending items, and then we prioritize all of our to-dos, I guess you could say, and then we try to squeeze in one of those backdated items. So I just wanted to let you know if we don't talk about it, don't worry, we're not going to forget about it. I don't care if it's Poet, I don't care if it's sneakers or perks or whatever it is. Everything is on that list, and we're just really prioritizing that. We have we've got 60 days until January, and we've got a lot to get done before then. And we're going to be really focused on the things that are critical for a successful list. And some of these other, old promotions and stuff like that, don't worry, we're going to have full accountability on that. So Nick knows that we go through it every single 7 days.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to think about it is what do you want? Do you want these key strategic initiatives to be dealt with, or you want the other things? Because you cannot have both. It's not and, it's or. Because if we are working on some of those promotions and things like that, that means we are not working on strategic things. We have a very small team. You're seeing probably between us here, you're seeing, I don't know what we make up, what 30%, 40%. So we're a very small team, not many people, and so we have to prioritize, and we're doing the best we can at that, and trying to make sure that we can get to that last milestone that everyone's anxiously waiting for.
Yeah. But good question. I think that covers it, Nick. I think we've gotten through. If there's any last minute ones, that's fine. You guys can send them through. A couple of people have asked this question about the 2 million Vitra on the 14th. Is that because of Sabong, or is there another special reason for that date?
It just 14th is when we are there together, so it seemed like a good date for it. Be happy to delay it if people don't want it on that date.
Yeah, we could do the 15th. Thanks, Phantom. You've always been a great supporter of the team and of the community. Yeah, we do try to get a lot done with such a small team, but the good thing is that once we do list, we should be able to expand the team and bring on some more developers and a CFO and some of these other things that are definitely needed. Genesis, thank you so much. It's great to hear feedback like that, so thank you so much. Arjun, I really can't wait for the printing feature. I've been selling prints over the last 10 years, and I have many high quality artworks print ready. Yeah, we've started working on the print on demand feature. Nick says he's got the API kind of worked out. It's just a matter of fine tuning the model, which we're going to be working on over the next couple of weeks. And KC, yeah, great to see you, buddy. Thanks so much. I think that does it.
That does it. For the artists who are here, I will be posting another fun Nick meme challenge. So that should be fun and interesting. And I'll see you at the Buying Blitz on Sunday. But before that, yeah, tomorrow we'll be there at the Sabong launch. So exciting. Thank you all. We covered a lot of material today. I'm sure it's a lot to digest. And you have questions, please follow up on Discord, on Telegram, on X, and let us know. We are building this for you, and we want your feedback. And we take your feedback very seriously. I make copious notes whenever anyone gives feedback, and I'm sure to do my best to follow up and implement these features that people want. So anyway, thanks everyone. Have a great Friday and have a good, an amazing weekend.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Great to see everybody. Bye-bye.